All right, let's talk about giving your AI some serious superpowers. We're going to dive into a really cool standard that lets AI agents securely tap into all the tools you use every day. This is the kind of thing that's going to fundamentally change how we build and even just interact with AI apps. So here's the big question, the one that everyone building with AI runs into. You want your AI assistant to be more helpful, right? You want it to connect to your Stripe account, or manage your GitHub repos, or just automate stuff online. The problem is, how do you grant all that access without basically handing over the keys to your entire digital kingdom? And this is where it gets super tricky. Giving a large language model, the brain of your AI, your raw API keys is just a huge security risk. It's a total management nightmare. You end up with all these sensitive credentials floating around that could get exposed. There has to be a better way, a more secure and efficient way to do this. And guess what? There is. Docker has come up with a genuinely brilliant solution here with its MCP catalog and toolkit. It's designed to make this whole process incredibly smooth, not just for the people using AI, but for the developers who are actually building these AI applications. So what's the magic behind all this? Well, it's a technology called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. The easiest way to think of it is like a universal rulebook, a common language that lets AI agents safely talk to outside tools, whether that's checking your finances on Stripe or managing issues on GitHub. Docker's approach here is amazing because it's so simple. The MCP toolkit basically acts as a super secure gatekeeper. Your AI app, it doesn't talk directly to Stripe or GitHub anymore. Nope, it only talks to Docker. And then Docker handles all the messy, sensitive communication with those outside tools, keeping your secrets safe and sound. Now, you've got a couple of options for how you connect to these tools. You can use local servers or remote servers. Local servers run right on your machine, which is cool for working offline, but you're in charge of updates and you still have to supply those API keys. Remote servers, though, they run in the cloud. They are always up to date, have way more advanced security, and here's the killer feature, they use a secure browser login. That means you never have to see or handle an API key at all. Okay, so let's get practical. How does this actually work for you, the person using an AI assistant? Well, if you're using something like Claude on your desktop or an AI-powered code editor, the whole process is unbelievably simple. It's really just a simple 4-step process. First, you just open up Docker Desktop and head over to the MCP Toolkit tab. Second, you browse the catalog for whatever tool you need, let's say Stripe. Third, you add the server and it pops up a secure browser window for you to log in. And that's it. You just start chatting. Your AI assistant now has a whole new skill set. And this is where the real magic of the whole ecosystem kicks in. You authorize a tool once, and you can use it everywhere. You can set up Stripe in one app, then hop over to a completely different one, and it just works. No logging in again, no extra setup, it's totally seamless. And we're not just talking about 1 or 2 tools here. The catalog is huge and it's always growing. It covers everything from developer tools in databases to finance, monitoring, productivity, you name it. It's literally a library of new superpowers for your AI. And you're going to find official servers from all the big names you already trust and rely on, like GitHub. This lets your AI jump right into your code repositories, manage issues, and so much more. You can connect to financial services like Stripe, letting you manage invoices or look up customer data just by chatting with your AI assistant. There are also tools for monitoring and observability from publishers like Grafana, so you can investigate system issues just by asking questions in plain English. And yeah, even powerful web automation tools from giants like Microsoft with their Playwright server. It's a really robust and credible ecosystem, opening up a ton of possibilities. Okay, so that's for AI users. But what if you're an AI developer? What if you're the one building a custom AI application? This is where the MCP Gateway comes into play, and it's a huge deal for developers. The MCP Gateway is basically that entire catalog of tools we just talked about, but it's all wrapped up neatly inside a container that you can plug directly into your own projects. This means you can give your users access to that same massive library of tools. So when you're building your app, your setup becomes incredibly simple. In your application's configuration, you just add 2 little gateway services from Docker, one for local servers and one for remote ones. That simple move unlocks the entire catalog for your application and its users. And this, for any developer out there, is the absolute game changer. The complexity of your own application just drops through the floor. Before, you'd be wrestling with a dozen different SDKs and mountains of API docs. Now, Your app doesn't need to know a thing about the Stripe API or the GitHub API. It only talks to the Docker MCP gateways. Docker takes care of everything else. So let's just zoom out for a second, because when you take a step back, you realize this is so much more than just a cool feature. This is a fundamental shift in how we build AI-powered apps. It's really establishing a whole new standard for the industry. You know, there's a quote that I think just perfectly sums it all up. Docker took this raw, complex protocol, MCP, and turned it into something so seamless that anyone can use it. With just a few clicks, you can give your AI a whole universe of new capabilities. When you boil it all down, the advantages are just crystal clear. You get incredible simplicity because it hides all that integration complexity. You get rock-solid security because you're not passing around API keys anymore. And you get amazing accessibility because there's this one single catalog for both regular users and developers. So here's the bottom line. A new standard for connecting AI to the real world has officially arrived. It's built on a foundation that is way more powerful, way more secure, and yet somehow remarkably simple to use. This isn't just a small step forward. It's the future of how we're all going to build with AI.